go. We're gonna one more round, one more question to finish off this topic, and go to Big J because I know I'm gonna give him a chance to air stuff that he's been talking about in the background.
It's about that Section 8 stuff.
Well, he has a number of topics, so he can start wherever he wants. I know Section 8 was just the tip of the iceberg, but he had so many different talking points. I want to give him a chance to air it because, one, because his videos, you're jumping from one subject to another. You don't have one subject. You know, you're mixing in a whole bunch of different stuff. So the thing is, he's here. We can do it live, and we can parcel this stuff out. So, Big J, take it away. What do you want to say?
Well, I have to apologize for that video, but I was trying to cram 2 hours into a 25-minute video.
Yeah, it's like
I am a mistake.
It's like trying to shovel 100 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. It doesn't work.
Right. Okay. About that Section 8 thing. At it from the repercussions of what's going to happen afterwards. Because if this is so quote unquote good, I don't think that was good.
Nobody said it was good.
What I'm saying is it's going to be black boys, because black boys going to be trapped in his house outside along with his single parent mother.
So how is it for black boys now?
Well, it's bad either way, but since we got Jeff Sessions in the
no. Wait a minute. See, you're trying to mix in other things. In the
age of Trump, and we out of these houses. Now, before I begin, I'm not for Section 8. I'm not for all that stuff. But I'm not trying to defend that. To talk about is what's going to happen to a boy, women are out of that Section 8, and what's going to happen to them. We talk about the repercussions that's going to happen to him.
Now, well, I think people have thought about the repercussions.
You know, the consequences are already. Those kids are going to do what they've been doing, living with their grandparents. That's pretty much what's been going on the whole time with Section 8 anyways. The kids were never getting raised by a lot of these Section 8 mothers. They were getting raised by their grandparents.
Right. Okay. I mean, but still, you got people like Jeff Sessions who's rolling back the drug of, because like at some point those kids are going to, and their bellies is going to be growling, and they going to sit there and say, "Well, I got to make money." Well, guess what they're going to do? They're either going to be pimping, or some of them going to be hoeing, and some of them going to be sitting out there. Hold on, and some of them going to be out there selling drugs to other black men.
Okay, hold on.
I'm from Chicago. How is that different from what is already going on?
Hold on. I need you to stop reaching so far. How old do you actually think kids are when they start pimping?
I'll say like around like 15.
Pimping?
You ain't never. Are you really serious about like street culture?
That
kids don't start pimping at 15 years old.
I'm talking about pimping. What I'm talking about.
I mean, if you said robbing people,
you're going to be pushing people to go further and further out into the underworld.
There will be some that have to go out and do those kind of things, but there are plenty of boys like me who grew up in less than ideal circumstances that will find their way out.
I get the argument he's trying to make. The argument he's trying to make is the aftermath of removing the carpet under people's feet is the black community is going to get worse. That's not true. You can try to cut that any way you want to cut that. But at the end of the day, if I point you to the nearest black community, I'm from Chicago, and I can tell you, it's not going to get worse than it already is now. That tells me you don't really understand how bad it is.
I understand how bad it is, but though, what you're not getting at is that okay? When you have somebody like Jeff Sessions, you got the rollback of drug sentencing policy. You're going to have a more increase of black boys.
You need to stop using Jeff Sessions. That's
Fam, you killing it with this with the thing about Jeff Sessions because you acting like it was all gravy before Jeff Sessions got there.
When did I say? Wait, hold on.
Let's deal with Jeff Sessions just for a second, okay? Okay. What is the reason? What is the main reason that they have started letting go and decriminalizing drugs and drug sentences in the United States, especially the states? Why do you think that is?
Because it started to affect more white people.
Hold on. I'm asking him a question. Because of white meth addicts.
No, that's not the reason.
No one can afford it. The states
Nobody can't afford it. It costs $50,000 to lock up somebody in prison. Where is money going to come from?
I like to point out too that the funding that Jeff Sessions has requested for all of this expanded prosecutions has yet to be approved, and it's not likely to be approved because Congress has pretty much panned many different portions of the Trump budget. If he gets his money to pursue all of these massive prosecutions, remains to be seen. I think it's a bit premature to worry about what Jeff Sessions is going to do. He hasn't even really had any money to do so yet.
And a lot of Republicans don't even like Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, that's true. Now, so I asked Big, where's the money going to come from to lock all these people up?
Taxpayers.
Nope.
Come on, Big. Come on, man.
We're talking to a kindergartner.
No. Don't insult him. Okay, don't insult him. I want him to answer the question.
I'm anxious about it, but that. But the thing is, though, it's going to cause a social problem later on when you have these policies by. And so I don't know why y'all acting like it's going to keep hearing y'all tell me that I'm acting like though it was bad before he got there. I knew it was bad. So you really can't just tell me, if you go to Fifth Ward, Houston, if you go to the Sunnyside area of Houston, I can tell you it's bad.
Sunnyside and Fifth Ward been fucked up for years, way before Jeff Sessions. I live in Houston.
Of course. When have I said that it wasn't?
So in other words, let's get it straight. Okay,
he's afraid of Jeff Sessions.
Jeff Sessions, Donald Trump, all of Congress, and Dr. Jones will tell you are painted into a corner. Why do you? I put up the Council on Debt. You know how many people watch that?
You know how many people one of your lowest videos, I'm sure.
It was one of my lowest videos. You know why I put up the Council on Debt? Is because that's the corner that the United States and Congress and the President of the United States is paid it into. If you understand the Council on Debt, you know what the problem is. You know why Section 8 has to go away. They are not, and Dr. Jones can tell you, they are not going to start going after people's pensions and Social Security and their Medicare to keep people on Section 8. It's not going to happen.
I mean, Big Carson has more control over Section 8.
Can I interject something real quick?
One at a time. Okay, LAR first, go, and then Edward.
Big J, when you brought up Sunnyside in the Fifth Ward, right?
Right.
I'm a person who was born in New Orleans, lived on the west side of Chicago, lived in Baltimore, and I live in Houston now. You're skipping the fact that Houston has one of the biggest and best populations of black middle class people in us. So to say that Houston hood life is nowhere near close to the real hood life in America.
No.
It is what you may see as being hood. I can guarantee you, I could drop you off places and I'll show you what real hood is.
Camden, New Jersey, Philly,
Baltimore,
Orleans,
New Orleans ain't that. New Orleans is not nearly that bad as you go to Cleveland, you go to Chicago, you go to Baltimore, Camden. They make what goes on in the fifth ward of New Orleans, the Big Easy, look like paradise.
Yeah, the thing about Section 8 too, some of these women been on Section 8 for 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Facts.
That's ridiculous.
I wanted to point out something too about the whole Sessions issue. So, for 6 years, I worked for the largest sheriff's office in my particular state. Among other things, it was my responsibility to pay and care for inmates and their health care and whatnot. So, in all the case reports and police reports I read, and I had to read them all for different purposes. Not all of them, but most of them. There are 3 reasons why you could get locked up. It's either going to be around drugs and drug crime. It's going to be around guns and gun crime. The third reason why I saw many men go to jail was messing with the wrong female. Because of domestic violence, because of child support enforcement, things of that nature. If you get with the wrong woman, your chances of getting locked up go up exponentially. So if you're worried about Jeff Sessions, don't be in the dope game. Don't break the firearms laws and get you a good woman, or go IBMOR or go MGTOW. I mean, anything else that goes on, it's not really going to affect you. The percentage of guys that really get caught up through no fault of their own is infinitesimally small, and I can personally attest to that. So the Sessions argument is a straw man. It has nothing to do with this issue, in my opinion.
Well, we could break that. We could break down the
straw man argument. Let him respond. Let Big respond.
You say right. Then why is it that the former state of Alabama has increased budget on prisons in this state? And in fact, in Texas,
that's one small state. In Texas started decriminalizing.
In Texas, I'm talking about Texas, my home state.
Yeah.
Okay. $1,000. A stadium can cost you $500,000. Put your ass in prison. That is $20,000 per inmate.
That's more than that, I'm sure.
But my question is this, though.
But
if you're not involved with guns, drugs, or dealing with the wrong female, unless they start randomly picking people for prosecutions and arrests, I mean, I can show you the numbers. That is very small relative to our population size. Why would the risk of accidental imprisonment pick up now? I mean, even in Texas, because I have a nephew that had to go through that process, and basically, to just really tell you real quick, he got caught with a kilo of weed, and he got caught with a gun in a backpack. Okay. Now, normally you had to do some serious time behind that. Okay, he had to do less than a year, and it kicked him. Okay, that means the bottom line is you cannot afford to lock these people up. No, you cannot. I mean, the money just isn't there. So a lot of these states are doing everything they can to keep people out of jail if it's diverting them to home detention or counseling and things like that. Yeah. That's why you see, I made the point in my response video to you, Big, that the media is also opposing this Sessions agenda. And, we all remember back in the 90s when it was, just say no, marijuana is a killer, is a hell of a drug. And the fact that the media is against this whole thing, and it's been universally panned on the left and the right, tells you something. I mean, this whole Sessions thing is a non-factor.
The whole drug war and the basically increasing the prison population. You know what that came at the expense of? Big. Big. You know what it came at? It came at the expense of your education department, because that's what they drew it from. Because there's only so much money to go around as far as taxes is concerned. So basically what they did to lock people up, or lock black people up, is to basically take it from your education department. In other words, that's why it costs you a state school costs you $20,000 to go to college, because that money, that money that sent your kid to school and kept your colleges going, went to the prison department to lock people up. That's in California. That's the main reason why they start decriminalizing certain drugs and lowering sentences and start kicking nonviolent offenders.
Hey, in Chicago, where I am, Cook County, these are the things you can go to jail for: gun possession, illegal use of a weapon, drug possession, domestic battery. That's pretty much it. Everything else is
RICO
probably
law.
Well, yeah, they doing that. They doing that big time here, especially with those Mexican cartel.
Cartels holder, yeah.
And the home. Well, they got home monitoring for everything else. And they issuing a lot of I-bonds now for like other stuff, like traffic, suspended licenses and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't see a whole lot of money being thrown into law enforcement right now.
Yeah.
They're already hollering about overtime for police officers here, because of the summertime, and the uptick in violence and whatnot. So they already hollering about overtime and all.
Yeah,
that
they can't.
stuff.
Yeah, they can't afford the police, because where I'm from, these people are getting $1 million pensions.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too.
Yeah.
Adept, can you talk about? I read a lot about the Illinois or the Chicago pension system, or the state of Illinois. They're having real issues with that.
Yeah, they've been stealing from it for the last 20-some years. The Mayor Daley used it as his own little personal, this little personal kitty for these little projects that he wants. Parks and planners and stuff like that.
So the movies are true. The movies are true. Chicago's corrupt.
Of course, it's
been
corrupt.
like that.
Chicago's one of the most corrupt
This is
for 150 years, man.
Chicago is the most corrupt city in the country.
This is a criminal enterprise, okay? Cook County, the city of Chicago. This is a criminal enterprise. This is how
Chicago is worse than LA, in my opinion, right now.
Isn't that where Little Boozy was locked up? Chicago, right?
Who?
Little that rapper, Lil Boozy.
No,
man.
That's from Baton Rouge.
No, that's
it's another rapper. I know who he's talking about, but I don't know these idiot rappers nowadays.
He's what's his? I forgot his name. Whoever he is, yeah, he's locked up at Stateville now.
I mean, Jack was in the rap game too for
Kevin Gates, right?
Kevin Gates, yeah, he's locked up here now in Statesville.
But pension issues.
Yeah, they got like 6 governors in jail, in prison.
Yeah, they
I'm dead serious. Like 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats.
At once, man. I don't know about that state of Illinois, man. I'm saying out there. Governors,
they've taken a lot of pension money and used it for their own, little proclivities, to pay their, to give contracts to their friends and cronies. It's a lot of crony capitalism here. They do a lot of, they misuse a lot of the TIF monies and whatnot. And, they do a lot of, that's why Chicago right now is in trouble, as far as the budget,
Remember that black restaurant that they closed down that was in the north side, and they kept on messing with their alcohol licenses and complaining on a Boyce Watkins actually did an expose on that. Dude.
They do that. They do that to all black businesses on the north
side. So it's warfare out there, man. It really is, and it's hard. That's why a lot of people, I do empathize when people talk about what the government, the local, because a lot of those businesses, that's local government. A lot of people can't separate the differences.
Matter of fact, Chicago isn't that where Kevin Garnett's originally from, right? Chicago,
no, South Carolina. He went there for Ronnie
Donovan McNabb's it's a lot of people from Chicago from that in that sense. Like Donovan McNabb's from Chicago. I mean, Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Anthony Davis.
I mean, we could have an all-star top 5, all NBA Chicago's finest. It'd be Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, Evan. I forget his name. But
Evan Turner.
But I mean that pension issue, though, among other things, that's the driver for if you're the government, federal, state, or local, and you have to decide between Section 8 for able-bodied females that could potentially get a job and do something different, or pay back the billions that you owe for your pension fund. It's an easy choice.
Yeah, they got people. They have doctors. Well, they have some teachers getting almost they're getting $250,000 a year in pension money.
Well, you got to also get to the fact that some of them same cops with that pension got kids in them Section 8 homes, so they getting some of their money back. Because they ain't just in the hood policing the community.
If you cut off Section 8, it's exactly what BGS said, in which, you know, Big J was having the response about in the first place. Women are going to acquiesce and go back to men. And what happens is people are going to start living together, and that concentrates resources. So this idea that if you remove Section 8, women are just going to starve and not adjust their behavior, that's a fallacy.
Yes, sir. That is a fallacy.
Well, because you gotta realize what they're doing with that Section 8.
Yeah, let Big answer.
No, but Edward, they had welfare reform in the late 90s. That didn't work.
Sure did.
So, you're not going to change the mindset.
What are you talking about, man? If I starve you, I'll change your mindset.
Well, let me add to that.
Hold on.
I'm talking about women in general.
Who's outside in the wind?
That's Big outside in the wind, I think.
Because so you're making it's funny because you're making two competing arguments. On one hand, you saying that black women not gonna change because of Section 8, but then you're making an argument, and I got off the phone for a second. You're making an argument that black boys are gonna start robbing and wilding out if they can't do nothing. So you're literally making two opposite points to try to confirm one argument.
Okay. If you sit up there, okay. She as a grown ass woman. She is going to get away with shit. That will not get away.
I mean, that's changing.
But Edward, hold on. Let him make his point, because he's here because he has some point to make. I want him to get a fair audience. Okay, let him make his point.
Okay.
So we want to hear it because he's doing this stuff in the background. It's not coherent. Let him make his point, and then we can dissect it. Okay?
No, but Edward, she as a grown ass woman, she is going to get away with shit, but that boy will not. Children are not going to get away with shit. The ones that's going to suffer the brunt of it.
Get away with what?
Especially
get away with what?
You have a female.
Okay, wait a minute. Get away with what? Because you got to specify. What are you talking about?
Okay. A woman like that is going to attract simps. It's going to attract giant.
Are simps men? Are simps men?
Yes, they are. But like that simp is not going to take care of the kids.
Hold up.
Big
J, I got some questions. Can I ask you a few things real quick?
Go ahead.
You from Houston, right?
No.
You live in Houston. Because you kept bringing up Sunnyside and stuff. So what part of Texas you from?
I'm from South Park, Texas, coastline.
How did you? Yeah, go ahead.
Because I used to have family over.
Okay.
But you do realize that, quote unquote, the Houston culture is very off center from every other culture in major cities. You do realize they get a lot of people in Houston get away with a lot of sucker shit that doesn't slide in most other cities.
And I agree.
So I'm saying that to you. So when you making these points, I'm starting to piece together that you know the Houston culture is a little warped when it comes to all of this stuff. So don't put these type of people for the totality of the communities nationwide, because it's not gonna fit at all.
No, I was just using it as an example, but I wasn't trying to make it
Okay. Okay.
to be.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. Okay. You're in Texas, right? Okay. If Section 8 is, say they cut Section 8 in half, right? Okay, and say that particular woman that's in Tennessee, she's in southern, southeast Texas, because I'm guessing that's where you are. Okay, southeast Texas, and they cut her Section 8 in half, or they eliminate her Section 8, and she's got 4 kids. What is she gonna do?
She gonna have to move somewhere.
Okay, she's gonna move with who?
Her baby
No,
dad.
no, 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 no. I want him to answer. You guys stop. Okay, he's in the chair right now.
With the available man who's there, or the grandmother.
He's gonna be with
One
family.
of those two.
He's gonna be with family, or she's gonna have to find her a man, right? Right? She won't be independent anymore, will she?
No.
So she's going.
But like I said,
she's going.
though, if you're gonna economically force a woman, them children are gonna lose at the end, because you don't know what his attention are.
We're not talking. You mix it in two different things.
How is that? How is that mixing into?
In other words, we talk about what the woman's behavior. We're not talking about the children. The woman's behavior. What will she have to do?
Adapt to God.
Date him.
Huh?
So
well, she's gonna have to convince him to do what?
Or take her in.
And if she has children, she's gonna have to doubly convince him to do what?
To take her
and her children in, right?
Right.
So if she does that, is she gonna have the same attitude that she had when she had options?
Hell no.
No, I want him to answer. You guys fall back for a second. That's like I wanted you by yourself, because this is what's gonna happen. I'm running you through some logic. What is she gonna have to do to convince him to take her?
Comply and adapt to his.
Exactly, which is something that they had to do before, right?
Right, but yet you're not counting. You're not counting no more.
What? I'm not counting what? We're not counting what?
You're not counting the fact that she might turn on you.
Of course she might.
The fact of if she does marry this man, she can turn around like a couple of years and divorce him and take 60% of his earnings.
And have his what?
Beyond that, I'm looking beyond that.
No. Okay. So when in the short term, so in other words, what you were saying in your video is that removing Section 8 or removing benefits from there will not change their behavior, right? That's what you said, right?
It's not. You only temporarily change. I'm only saying temporarily. You're only going to temporarily change. Not going to permanently change.
Okay, let's build a scenario for a second, because you're in the chair right now. Okay, let's build a scenario. We're gonna run you through your own logic. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, she's got 4 kids, right? Okay, she's 30 years old. She got 4 kids. She's never had a job. She's been on Section 8 welfare, whatnot, for all her life, right? She got 4 kids. Okay, that stuff is removed. She does happen to find a simp that's willing to do what? Take her in and her 4 children in, right?
Right.
Okay, say that she's okay. If she does divorce him 2 years down the line, where does it leave her?
With some money in her hands and all somewhere.
If for 2 years? Are you kidding me? She's not gonna get nothing.
I mean, it actually depends on who the simp is who or what state they're living in. Yeah, it actually depends on what state and what and who.
We're talking about basically an uneducated chick that's never worked, that's got 4 kids. So you think she's gonna get a baller simp?
Hell no.
No.
So she gonna get an average working class Joe, right? That makes less than $50,000, right?
Right.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but Angry Man was trying to get in.
I think we got space.
He said, like, where's the link?
All right, Angry Man, but you're gonna have to fall back until I finish sitting him in the chair, okay? But anyway, what I want everybody to do is fall back for a second, okay? So she's gonna get an average dude, the average working class dude. They take her and her 4 children in, and he's got to work very hard to do what keep them alive, right? And she's gonna have to be very good to him, right? If he does marry her. So she is not. I'm gonna tell you, if she divorces him after 2 years, she's not gonna get very much, and she has what, 4 mouths to feed and no place to stay, right?
All right.
She's back in the same boat. So why would she divorce him? Hello, you guys still there?
People are there. I think they just muted.
Okay.
We here.
What I'm saying is, I'm asking Big a question. Is he there? Or is he
I still want to see what the entitlement. See, like that entitled mindset is ingrained. Changing her.
I'm asking you a question. Why don't you think it'll change your mind?
If you've been born in that situation for the past 40 years, that mindset is going to be there.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when your mindset is there, you try to weigh your options. You just got out of the street. Are you going back to the street just because of your mindset?
We have a culture that's going to depend.
So what you're saying is that these women are absolutely.
If she gets out of the house, and all these other networks of women feminists that sit there and take her ass in.
Okay. Oh, if we had, let's run some numbers, okay, because this is emotional to you, okay?
Oh no, I'm not emotional.
Hold on a second. Okay, we're having a conversation. You're gonna get your turn to talk because everybody else is muted. They're in the background, right? Okay. 50% of your women are in poverty. So if they cut just 10% of that, basically you're going to have what? You have 18 million adult women. So 59 million of them in poverty. Take half of it, you got 4 million black women that would be on the street. So in other words, how many simps do you actually think there are?
Well, the way this country is, I got to say 50% of men are simps.
No, really?
Texas culture.
Actually, 50% of men are simps.
BGS, Texas culture. Okay.
Actually, that 50% of men are simps.
So in other words, what a simp will marry her and she'll be there 2 years. She'll divorce him and go get her another simp, and he'll marry her again.
Because it's female nature, because they have the entitlement problem.
So if they're that big of a simp, how come they're not marrying them now?
Because they have access to other.
And one thing I know about Houston. One thing. Well, you know the reason that doesn't work in Houston? For a very good reason. There's too much pussy in Houston. Houston is one of the richest, is one of the biggest pussy markets in the whole country as far as black pussy is concerned.
It is, but they got a simp ass sucker culture that they think is manhood.
Them chicks ain't getting married in Houston, man.
They're
fighting over women. Women are fighting over men in Houston. There ain't enough simps to go around.
BGS, they're not getting married. They're not marrying these men or women, but these guys keep rotating the same hoes because they suck.
Yeah, in other words,
thank you. I'm trying. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
but I told you this big earlier. Your Texas culture does not
I
gravitate
agree
to the
with
world.
I only agree with you on that one point.
Big. There's no yelling in here. We're talking to you. You don't. You will get your turn to talk. Let him talk.
See, at the end of the day, you can't put Texas sucker simp ass culture onto the United States of America. Just because this is how these fools roll out here, that shit doesn't work everywhere else. This is why these girls stay out here and doing this, because they can't do this shit nowhere else.
And if the thing is, they're doing it because they can afford to, because it's cheaper to do it there. Once you remove the money, because you have a whole lot of guys. That's what Texas women, especially Southeast Texas women, are complaining about, is that they got the Section 8, they got the welfare, and they're housing these guys.
No, well, technically yes, but the thing that they really complain about is there's a lot of guys in Texas, ain't that many men. These bitches don't respect these guys because these guys is bitches too. This is romper where land. People talk that shit, but they not really about that.
Yeah.
So I've heard that. If I could say this, gentlemen, and how's it going, BG? This is City of Truth 91. I think that you don't take into account the concept of, this is an old concept, but you can take a girl out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you even take that into account. I just think you just say, okay, well, if the government does X, Y, and Z, people just magically change. And I don't think that's true, because government policies have different effects for different populations of people based on the characteristics of those people. So you can say, say something?
You know my history, right? About the crack era and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I know hood niggas. I know hood bitches, okay? Because I dated them, fuck them motherfuckers, okay? Hood bitches count checks. Hood bitches count money. Hood bitches depend on checks, like you depend on hitting the clock and earning your money. So if that check gets to be cut back, or that check gets to be removed, trust and believe me, they're looking for dudes to support them.
And can I say something?
Go ahead, Edward.
And it's somebody that, look, my mom was hustling. My mom hustled the crap out of Section 8, because unlike my mom had a man that was actually working while we were on Section 8, which you're not supposed to technically do. I can tell you, when that money was messed with or anything, they get on notice. See, a lot of y'all are talking like y'all have already seen this and y'all are theorizing. That's one thing I will defer to BGS on, because BGS has seen this. Y'all are theorizing. And that's why I keep saying a lot of y'all comments, y'all arguments are emotional and they're not making logical sense. Hence why BGS is running you through the logic.
Hey, Edward, I got a girl, okay? She's in her 50s now, okay? I banged enough welfare pussy and Section 8 pussy to know. And trust me, when they mess with the, when I really get a call, when I get with them calls back to back, talking baby this, that, and the other, is when they start
that money low.
And let's be clear here. There's degrees to simping. There's a lot of dudes that will pay for it, but there's a lot of dudes that understand what the market value is too. I don't know if that's true in Houston, but I know you talk to Corey Holcomb in Chicago. We know when the price of pussy is low and we don't overpay.
I'm gonna tell you guys, they don't. They don't.
Yo, can I get in on this, man?
Jump in, Angry Man.
First of all, I gotta agree with BGS, because not only have I messed with chicks, like my baby mother was a welfare type chick, and my sister got a bunch of friends that's welfare chicks. And what BGS is saying true, when you take away that type of shit, because I've seen chicks lose their assistance and shit like that, they tighten up
instantly.
They tighten up immediately, because what you gotta understand is women have this mechanism in them. If you give them something, they're going to take as long as you give. But the moment you stop giving, they're going to tighten up, because self-preservation is one of the most important things to them, especially if they got kids.
Truth.
Yeah, you know what, Angry Man. One of my subs posted on my wall that he's around my age, right? He said he remembers when at 65 when his before 65 when before his mom got on welfare. He
Mhm.
said he noticed the change a year after she got on welfare, the change between her mother and her father.
Of
It
course.
didn't take a whole generation.
Of course, because women follow. Women follow whatever the trends are. Women follow that shit. Like it's just like when you look at any dude that's in a relationship with a woman. Go to her closet and look at how much shit is in that closet that she don't wear. Because the only reason she bought it is because a commercial was telling her to buy it, or it was some sort of trend. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
To sit here and make, to sit here, because I saw the video when Big J, he made the argument about Section 8, it being taken away. That'll be the best thing that has ever happened to the black community. That, and if they take away food stamps, all of that bullshit. Because truth be told, black people don't gotta have that shit. There's other ways for us to do shit. A lot of times we just put ourselves in. Look, I was with my baby mother when I was in my 20s, and she was trying to do the same thing that Edward is talking about, which is I was making money and she was trying to get assistance at the same time. And I told her, I said, yo, you don't got to get that shit because we don't need that. That's for somebody that need it. Truth be told, if anybody should be getting food stamps, it should be the elderly, not young, able-bodied people.
Now that's facts.
But I mean, if I could just say this, I disagree, because I've seen hood chicks who grew up in the hood, and then these women grew up and became paralegals and stuff like that, and got professional jobs, then still went and did ghetto ass hood shit. Like I know this one lady.
How were they on their job though?
Okay, well, I'm about to explain all that right now, real quick. There was just a family friend of mine who used to stay with me and my dad back when I was living with my father. But she basically was a paralegal, and she spent some time in Arizona and working for a law firm. And anyway, she went to this law firm, and as educated as this woman was, she went into that law firm and basically just showed her ass to the point where now she thought that when she got fired that she was going to get like some type of benefits package. Come to find out, she didn't stay long enough to get the benefits package, so she ended up getting nothing. And I mean, it's just nigga shit.
So that's called a dumb broad.
Here's my thing. You see, if you give a chick money and change her environment. No, hold on. Let me finish. If you give a chick money and her environment,
He's talking about two different things.
I know he's doing. What I'm saying is, if you made a point, if you make a point, make your point. Okay.
He's talking about two different things. He's talking about two entirely different things. Like, just the fact he proved the point by saying, "Oh, I know these ratchet chicks out here, but she went and got a job at a law firm."
Yeah.
Yeah, like, she has a job. So
she has a job.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And the fact that she went and showed her ass or whatever. Like, I dropped a video about this last year. I call it ratchet theory. Everyone has the ability to be ratchet, but they also have the ability to tighten up when they need to.
When they need to.
But this idea, nobody's arguing that women are gonna transform at their molecular level. Yeah, we know these chicks are they holding it down. So you are arguing it's an argument that we never made. What we said is the conditions that allow that shit to happen will make them stop.
Yeah, and we also said in that video, we said beware, okay, because we know they're gonna come out and hunting, and we know that they have this background and they're already damaged. And I said that. Pussy trap. I said clearly, in my video, if you listen to it right at the end, that they're going to have to try to sell a car that has 300,000 miles on it that's been in an accident 4 times. Okay, because they have to.
Check the whole
And you
facts.
talking about marrying these women. I'm like, man, ain't nobody about to
Shit.
marry. What the fuck are y'all arguing with?
This,
Yeah, ain't nobody
is
marrying
why
these hoes.
But
Burn.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about that, because I was noticing when they was talking about the simp culture in Texas or whatever, and Jap came out with an excellent video. He said simps are the janitors of the game. So,
Clean up, man.
yeah, exactly.
I'm a
If you're not a simp per se, that's not an issue for you. If a simp goes out here and marries some chick because she used to be on Section 8 and they took Section 8 from her, and she, gets with him, either one or two things is gonna happen. Either he's gonna put up with her shit for now into perpetuity, or he gonna tighten the hell up. Either way, it's not gonna affect no man that's about his P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's something that gotta happen. It has to happen. The moment that these women start having the fact that she has to go from I'm independent because she can get government assistance to having to stay with a man, that is gonna change a lot of shit.
Yeah, and the market for simps is gonna go way up.
And then
they're gonna be very picky. Go ahead.
And what they're not anticipating is these same simps can go. A lot of other races of women are going to be trying to get these guys if they pay for it straight enough.
Exactly.
This is why I was telling them.
What? Okay, LAR. Wait. LAR. Big. LAR, and then you.
This is why I was saying that Texas culture is a whole different ball game. Because if you ask anybody who lives in Houston, they'll tell you this is probably the #1 city in America for strip clubs. Yeah. They have more strip clubs than everybody else. So that should tell you way more than Atlanta.
But even before Atlanta. They used to call them butt naked clubs, the private strip clubs, yes.
So when the culture is that here, where do you think all the simps at?
Yep.
Dude.
So it's a whole different animal. Sorry.
Go ahead, Big.
No, hey. On top of that, though, man, you have like swinger clubs too.
Exactly. Thus multiplying the simp.
On top of the strip club. On top of the strip club, because you have rooms and would have shut the fucking this guy over here and all that bullshit going on.
But that's what I'm saying to you, Big. This is what I'm saying to you. That's my point. This is what I'm saying to you. This is like a Captain Save-A-Hole buffet. This don't work everywhere.
Yeah, I'm starting to lose respect for Houston, bro.
Wait. It'll stop working in Houston in a minute if they start pulling the money. Because you're gonna flood the market.
Exactly.
That's what they're doing with that tax money.
What's your overall point, Big J? Are you saying that you should get rid of Section 8?
No. What I was talking about was mainly about the consequences of taking away the Section 8 in society in general. Now, I wasn't just the black community, but I'll leave it there.
Okay. Well, my whole point in the video was not whether it was good or bad to take away Section 8. But I think my whole point in the video was that it's going to be taken away.
Yeah.
And people have not adapted to it. And same thing with Dr. Jones, he was saying that it's not a point of whether or not it's good or bad, whether you're liberal or conservative, whether you think that people should have it or not have it. The fact is it's not sustainable and it will go away. And these women are not preparing for it. That's what we're saying.
Man, BGS, I've sat there just like I'm sure you have, and I've witnessed the type of assistance that these women get. I'm surprised they were able to sustain it this long. Like, I'm amazed. Like, yo, my baby mother, she went down there, and I'm gonna tell you the type of assistance she was trying to get. At one point, after me and her were no longer together, I know for a fact she got like $700 and some in freaking food stamps. She was getting Section 8. They even had a program there that they would help her buy a car.
Mm-hmm. What?
We're not even counting Section 8. We're not even counting the earned income tax credit.
We ain't counting none of that.
Or the child tax credit. Or Habitat for Humanity. Or Habitat for Humanity that actually goes and gives
like literally gives women houses.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. I know a lot of that out here. They got a lot of those in Durham.
Oh, that's like that Warwick Dunn Foundation.
Yeah.
And these could be houses they paying $125 for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they literally
and these houses they own.
They literally, like, they have literally, the welfare state literally took a whole group of women and put them in a position to where they literally do not need anybody except the government.
Exactly.
And that is an absolute artificial construct. That's why if you look at black women overseas, even like African women, like Nigerian women, you could argue they can be a little bit arrogant. They'll say that their arrogance for sometimes how smart they are. Their definition of arrogance and what black men in America deal with are two completely different things.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to
go ahead, Dr. Jones.
Big J had made the argument that, you know, we're not thinking about the long term and what about the children, all that kind of stuff. And, my response is this. So when, not if, but when Section 8 and when these benefits are cut off, because it is going away no matter what, that's not going to stop people on a private individual basis from providing, you know, charitable services, clothing drives, you know what I'm saying, fundraising. The brother, Let's Be Frank, he did a great series called Birds of a Feather Flock Together, where he talked about how brothers came together and built up voluntary, you know, aid organizations and things like that. The thing is, instead of dealing with an impersonal government that's not going to exact conditions for their assistance, they're going to have to come to us. And for those who wish to participate, I'm not going to on a personal level, but for those who wish to participate, they're going to have to take the help on our terms. And that's going to be the difference.
Yeah. These chicks are going to start hoeing. That thought market is going to explode like you have never seen it before. It is going to gas right now in certain areas is below $2 where I live. Yes, it is. Angry Man, just go to Durham. And that's going to be high pussy. It's going to be like 87 cents. That's what's going to happen. Jab and all these dudes, because here's the thing that what he's not talking about. There are a lot of simps that are simps because they don't know no better. And when they get access to this red pill knowledge, all it takes is one video from Alan Roger Curry or BGS or Ron Wills. Shout out to Ron Wills with that repercussions video, because that look on that dude's face. And these simps are going to transform and they going to be like, yeah, we got you, bitch.
Exactly. See, that's another factor that nobody is counting in. There's a whole movement right now. This is the first time in the history of the United States that black men like ourselves have literally had a voice to speak about these topics. So not only is things changing because of what the government is going to have to do, but things is changing in terms of men having knowledge about this bullshit.
And we're not even counting the young dudes, because the young dudes already up on game because these women are so sexually aggressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the factors he forget to talk about when he talk about what about the kids is these women ain't gonna be able to afford to keep their kids no more.
No, and there's a very good study, and I have to find it again and post it. The government actually knows how much money to issue out if they want a certain amount of children. So if like when like he talked about in 1996 when Bill Clinton actually cut down the welfare rolls, right, and reduced welfare. Okay, and what he did was he switched where the money was coming from. Because right along with that, what Bill Clinton did was increase child support and increase penalties for non-payment of child support. So all he did was transfer the burden of basically supporting children from the government to the backs of the fathers, right? And then he made women go to work. He made them go to school. He did a whole lot of other things. So he transferred the cost of women bearing children from the public sector to the private sector. So the money basically stayed the same. Yet less people that actually needed to be on the government because a whole lot of men were getting raked over the coals funding this.
Oh, that's how they were sustaining it. Okay.
That's how they sustained it. I mean, Dr. Jones probably can tell you about it because that's his area of expertise. All they did was change the money over. In fact, who was that that said that? Al Green said the same thing. No, as a brother, if I can find the clip, I'll find the clip where he said it, because it was on a program that I was listening to and I have it recorded. What he said was that in order for the states to enforce fraternity suits and stuff like that, what Bill Clinton did was tie enforcement of fraternity to the infrastructure funds. In other words, highway funds, school funds, and that kind of stuff. In other words, we're going to cut your money in these areas if you don't do this for us. And the federal government does that all the time. Go ahead.
Not to mention the fact that they incentivize the states to set up their child support collections. So for every dollar that they turn over to the feds, the state gets to keep $1 too. So they're basically incentivized dollar for dollar. The other thing I wanted to say real fast is when Big makes the argument about, the 90s welfare reform, what he doesn't mention is that a lot of the states sought and got permission to waive the requirements. So in a lot of these states, they're not enforcing the full work requirements or education requirements that bill calls for. They're basically in suspended animation. So what DJ Trump and company wants to do, and this is according to the Heritage Foundation, they want to fully enforce all the provisions of that welfare reform. So basically, we have not really felt the full effect of that law as of yet.
And let me add something real quick to that. Just so you guys know, now with Bill Clinton doing that bullshit, and then you had his wife trying to run for fucking president, I wish I might have voted for that bitch. Like you could have somebody in the situation I'm in, and basically, like when a lot of you guys talk about getting your passport and going here, going there, I can't get my passport because I'm behind in child support. And
like the number is only $2,500, but they start to lock your passport up.
Yeah, and see, here's the problem. This is how it works, and most people that don't know anything about child support, they'll be like, "Well, why don't you just pay your child support?" Let me show you the game that women play. This is the game they play. You got the child support coming in, but what she'll do is she'll take that money that you pay in child support and she'll use that to pay bills and shit. And then your kids, if they're old enough to call you, your kids will be like, I need such and such, I need this, I need that. So then you have to make a decision. Are you going to pay in the child support and let her screw you over? Or are you going to pay and give your kids money so they can get what they need?
Oh my God.
They're going to take care of the kids. They're going to take care of the kids.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
So what you have to do, just like, Al Grease put out that documentary showing that, a lot of cats don't know. What you can do is you can file Chapter 13 on the arrears that you owe, which is what I'm going to have to do in order to get my damn passport and shit.
My father did something similar to that to my mom. And my mom, I swear, blamed me for my entire life on it. Like, what my father did was he owned a restaurant. So what he did was he paid himself like a waiter. He was able to artificially control that shit. And he never really gave none of us no money. But the point is, if you that's what that League of Dads that O'Shea Jackson did with the guy that's running that was trying to say.
Christopher Smith,
Yeah, there's a way to do that if you know the right information. And that's what I always say. I'm always a big believer in information because you don't even know where the touch points are until you actually meet. That's healing.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you don't go too far into it.
Yeah, Big wanted to say something. I want to give him a chance to rebut.
Okay. Now, Mr. Jones said something about.
You want him to repeat it?
Jones said something. Mr. Jones said something about if these women will be out there. Well, guess
no, have him repeat it. Have him repeat it so you can answer, so you can respond to it. Go ahead, repeat what you said, Dr. Jones.
I said, I said, if all these benefit cuts, and they will be taking effect when these things happen, that's not going to stop people from providing support on a private basis. So instead of women having to go through an impersonal government that's not going to impose any kind of restrictions, morality, or what have you upon them, those individuals who want to support them in some fashion can, but they're going to have to take that help on the terms of the people that are actually giving them the money. In other words, they're going to have to horse trade. If they want that support, they're going to have to live with the conditions that the donors set for them versus big daddy government that doesn't care what you do. If you subsidize bastard children like the government is doing, that's what you're going to get.
Okay. Said something.
I mean, it sounds like to me that you're afraid of what's going to come when this eventually happens. Is that the case, or am I misreading this?
No, like you're misreading. Because I'm not focused on what I'm focused on what's going to happen to those children of this one.
Okay.
Of these
okay. No. Okay.
It's gonna be the text. What's going to happen to them?
Well, no. Let's dive into it.
If you go to a simp, to a 30-ass simp who is not going to treat kids right, you are going to create another social problem.
Can I respond to that?
Hold on.
No. Wait a minute. Let him finish the statement.
That was the premise of where I was coming at work. That was the premise where I was coming at. I wasn't coming.
Who's to say?
Whoa! Let him finish, please, and then you can respond.
I wasn't there, man, having on my cake. I'm here to save the hoes. No, I was talking about the benefit of the children who are.
Can I ask you a question?
Hopefully that means the dads get more custody.
Yeah, they should. But can I ask you a question, Big? Okay. So in other words, what would you do to clean up the problem? Because evidently it's not working.
Well, I already listed down at the end of the video. I mean,
no. You're here right now. Repeat it. This is your list. Repeat it.
Problem. You have to get rid. I know this might not be a little bit off topic. You have to get rid of this no fault divorce law. You have to sit there and force these women to pay a lien after those children turn 21. That to pay back all the money that social service gives.
I thought you have to do that regardless. I thought you had to pay back welfare.
No. They make the father pay back welfare.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So that's right there. Okay. Let me. I just wanted to put this point out there. This idea that for black boys or children, black boys and black girls, that you got like pedophilia and stuff like that happens now because of random dudes that women. You act like women ain't fucking.
Increase it. You are
big.
No,
big. Let him finish his statement.
My point is, that is a guess. The idea is it's happening, and the idea you say, I'm gonna tell you, I'll actually make this argument. You are wrong because a simp has more to lose than what a lot of these dudes that lay up with these chicks do. So this idea that a simp is going to start doing the stuff that I just said, that is insane, because if you can't be a simp without no money, and if you got money, you got an income source that a woman can attack you on or put the law on you on. These dudes ain't got nothing to lose. So for you to make the argument that stuff is going to get worse, I'm going to keep it real with you. The argument you're making, it clearly tells me you're not making an argument for that. And that's why I brought up the fear card, because it's illogical in the way you're presenting it.
Okay, let him respond. Let him respond, and then LAR, and then Angry Man after that.
Okay, but Edward, I'm gonna tell you
big first.
Like I sense it in your voice. So let me break this down.
No, Edward.
No. Edward, there stepped up to me with that arrogant bullshit. So I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Hey, whoa. Okay, that's not how we talk in this forum. Okay.
Edward, I'm talking about something exists. I'm making a little analogy. Okay, if I cut my finger middle of the ocean, track a shark or two, right? Track a shark. Finger, drop of blood in the middle of the ocean.
We're not getting your analogy.
if I take a cow leg or a barrel a 50-gallon drum of blood and drop it in the ocean, you're gonna attract more sharks.
Okay.
That is what I was talking about, Edward. You're going to add more to the problem, not lessen the problem, and that's the point. Don't get.
Yeah, but you're not. But the point you're not getting is going to happen anyway. You're not going to stop it. Black men have no choice about it. But LAR and then Angry Man.
One thing you're missing is the practical application of what you're saying. Once they take these women off of Section 8 and government assistance, first of all, they're not accustomed to paying actual rent or mortgages, so that digs into their finances. Their families that they've been living off of when they've been doing that can't afford it either. Then you haven't taken into consideration the fact that some of these girls was pimping, trying to get an education and faking like they're getting an education for extra money, and now they got to pay back that money. That's going against them. Then you got to factor in the fact that they got their quote unquote beauty costs that they still won't give up. And then the actual money that they're getting from men in child support. They can't sustain their lifestyle. And when you add simps to the mix, they're going to get rid of the kids. If women have multiple kids by multiple different dudes, they're going to start to get rid of the kids who actually got a father because they won't afford it in their household. You acting like these women actually love their kids. They don't. Some of these kids are going to get traded off in the mix.
Okay, Angry Man, and then we'll let Big respond. Big, Angry Man first, and then you can respond.
All right. First of all, Big. No disrespect to you, fam, but your whole premise of what you're saying you're afraid of is going to happen. It's just wrong, bro. It's not logical. And the reason why I can tell you it's not logical is because, I have 3 children by my ex. Now, she's already feeling it. And what's going to end up happening is if she can't afford to maintain her lifestyle because of the fact that she still has those kids at home, she's probably going to push them off on me, which I don't have a problem with because that'll put an end to the child support thing. But what you're sitting there talking about is, okay, well, if Section 8 happened, once they take away all this assistance, what's going to happen to the kids? So you're worried about the kids after the fact, when what Edward was saying is dead on. You should already be worried about the kids because the kids are already under messed up conditions under that type of household in the first place. Because when you have women that have a welfare mind state, there's a lot of bullshit that goes on in households that those children have to suffer under. And one of the things they have to suffer under is when you have a woman that has a welfare mind state, she's trying to get assistance from wherever she can get it. So what a lot of times what they'll do is a lot of times these kids are fending for themselves. And their mothers are like vultures trying to live off of their children. So you have the mothers that try to put their boys in basketball so they can hopefully become an NBA player. Or you have the mothers that push their boys out there to try to sell drugs to make money. You already got these kids fending for themselves. So when you start saying, oh, well, if this woman don't get this assistance, these kids are going to be messed up. No, they're not. They're already fending for themselves. Now, maybe the ones that are younger might be in messed up situations, but I know dudes that started taking care of themselves at 10 and 11 and 12 years old because their mother wasn't shit. So what's going to happen when a situation like this happens, human beings adapt. That's what human beings do. You understand? What you don't realize is before the welfare state, we had intact family homes. Black women were on a whole nother page. And all it took was for the welfare system to be introduced for all of that shit to change. So logically, anybody with common sense would know if you take it away, it's going to cause another change.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. You don't take into account the fact that, I mean, you assume that these men who are the stand-up men that are going to provide, this you know, that are going to come in and take the place of welfare for these women, you assume that these men still want these bitches. When in reality, they don't. They don't want nothing to do with them. They've moved on. They got white chicks now. They got Hispanic women. They don't want to be bothered with these raggedy ass women and their raggedy ass badass kids. So basically, in reality, they're still going to be the liability of the state.
Actually, the statistics don't show that. What the statistics show, what the statistics show, hold on for a second. What the statistics show, see, that's you buying into the myth that the majority of black men ain't shit. Okay, first of all,
it's actually saying that the majority of black women are undesirable. That's why they're not.
I'm not talking about black women being undesirable.
City of Truth. Hey, wait, one at a time. Okay,
that ain't got nothing to do with my point. Like, I'm not talking about the fact that, like, you're hung up. Like, I feel like you over there in real red pill rage right now. You're hung up on whether or not black women are desirable. I'm talking about the black women who already have children by black men. Once they get into a messed up situation and these fathers have the opportunity to get custody, a lot of these fathers are going to get custody. A lot of them want custody now. The only reason they're not able to get custody is because these fucking women are holding the children hostage
and making money
as bargaining chips.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, respond, City of Truth, and then we can go to Big and let him respond.
Yeah, my whole thing, the point I was just trying to make, man, is that these women, you say that these women are going to be changed by, removing this Section 8, and the Section 8 in and of itself is not the problem. The problem is you have a whole culture of has been built up from decades and decades of this welfare matriarchal mentality, and that's not just going to go away overnight. That's not going to go away overnight, brother.
What?
Okay, Angry Man, let him finish, and then we go to
it's
Big,
not
and then
going to go away. That's the point I'm trying to make. You guys think it's going to? If it was that easy for it to go away, it would have went away already. It's not going to go away, dude.
Okay, you made your you made that point. Okay, is there another point you want to make, or if not, we're gonna go to Big?
No, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, Big, go ahead.
I agree with the guy who just came.
City of Truth. Yeah.
I agree with the City of what you just said.
Okay.
Why? Everybody was talking about the welfare state, but nobody is willing to talk about that help. That's the primary for this stuff begin at. That's where I believe Ronald Reagan passed that no-fault divorce law back in 1967, and it came in effect in 1970. That actually began the wave of this mentality mindset of how female fuckery began. Right there.
Did y'all ever?
Okay, Angry Man is responding, and then LAR.
That is not what started what these women are doing. No fault divorce is not what started what these women are doing. What started what these women are doing.
Yes.
No, it didn't. Welfare actually did. I'm gonna drop a shout out to Hezekiah Music. I have two videos that I'm gonna put up. One is about poverty, or basically hunger in the South. It tells you about food stamps and why they had food stamps and welfare and stuff like that. And then I'm going to show you the second one about the results of the welfare. Okay, that was explained to back. Both of these were filmed back in 1968. Basically, at the same time when most of these laws actually came into place, and they give you good reason. And they said that the reasons why these women went on welfare, and the change that happened between the families when these women went on welfare. So it happened well before no fault divorce. No fault divorce was about white women. It wasn't about black people.
Exactly. Can I please?
Go ahead, Angry Man. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
Let me please speak on that. Okay, first of all, here's where the problem is coming in. The problem is coming in. It's just like BGS says. If you don't do your research and you don't understand why something started and why something created, it's kind of difficult for you to say what's going to happen when it gets taken away. Okay, because like I'm listening to you guys, and you guys are talking about no fault divorce, and I get where that comes from. That's the first talking point in your MRA starter kit. But what you don't realize is the whole reason why you have brothers up here that had to create a whole different type of movement that was separate from MRA and separate from MGTOW is because of the simple fact that a lot of their talking points don't address black issues. No fault divorce, just like BGS said, that's white people shit. That was a white people issue. You understand? The issue that we had in our community is this welfare mind state that was created by the government by giving black women the ability to basically go around being in a relationship with a man and basically allowing the government to be her relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it didn't because you already have a matriarchal culture, right? You have a matriarchal culture, and you're trying to put a patriarchal solution on the matriarchal culture. All you did was reinforce the matriarchy by doing it. That's all you did. Whereas what was white people, it didn't break up their families. Now, no fault divorce helped break up their family, but welfare, Section 8 didn't have the same effect on white people that it had on black people. Because you have two different cultures.
Exactly. And that's
that also.
Go ahead, Kira, Dr. Jones.
I was just going to say that, there's a book written called When Affirmative Action Was White, and they had a very illuminating chapter that talked about the GI Bill and Social Security and other programs that were directed specifically to ethnic European people, and it said something like that they received somewhere around the same amount as the Marshall Plan to reconstruct Europe after World War II, and this is what catapulted ethnic European people into the middle class. Not to mention all the business loans and whatnot that they received, and that's where the basis of their business came from.
Which is the reason. If you really listen to what's his name? Claude Anderson. Like Claude Anderson wrote the first affirmative action plan in 1970, right, for the state of Florida. Okay, if you listen to Claude Anderson, I asked him this question directly. He said it was true. Okay, what was supposed to happen for civil rights, right, is to assimilate black people, is to replicate. Get rid of the matriarchy and replicate what was a patriarchy by doing what? By putting black men to work. That got blown up. I keep telling you guys this over and over and over again. That's how come I keep saying I can't get you. If you guys don't want to leave kindergarten, I can't put you in the first grade. I can't keep stepping you up to so you can understand the way the world works. You guys keep want to stay in kindergarten. There's a reason things happen, right? There's a reason things happen, and everything the government does not work. Okay, there was a plan to actually do that, whereas to put black men to work, not keep women on welfare, and reinforcing the matriarchy, because they already knew that, because it happened in New York, it happened in Chicago. They already knew what would happen, right? Okay, you could not have a white solution. That's what Monahan was saying. You can't have a white solution for black people. You have to give them a separate solution. And putting black men to work was that solution. That got blown up. So you got what the white people got, which was welfare. And it does not work for black people. It reinforces a matriarchy, which is what you have. So if you take that away, okay, you'll have to have black women depend on extended family and their men again, because they have to, like they do in Africa. You have to have a separation of even though Africa has a matriarchy, they depend on their men. So they depend on their men. You don't have all this malformed matriarchy that we have going on in the black community.
Yeah, that's why the whole feminist thing doesn't work for black women, because feminism, that was a problem that white women were having because they felt like they were being oppressed by their men or some shit like that. The black woman was never really oppressed by black men. We always had like this sort of team sort of thing in the household where both people just did their part. You know, it wasn't no situation where one person was just taking care of the other person. Far as I know, back in the day, the majority of the black women I knew that worked. They did something. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny that you said that statement, BGS, that what the government does doesn't always work. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like, I remember one day my grandmother was telling me about the weather, how the seasons don't seem to be right or whatever, based on the calendar. And I said to my grandmother, I said, did it ever cross your mind that these crackers don't know what they're talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times we don't think about that. A lot of times we had this mind state that, you know, they just, because somebody's in charge, that means they know what they're doing. No, they're trying to figure it out just like everybody else is trying to figure it out, you know?
And usually with data that's 6 to 12 months behind at best, depending on which organization it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's what I'm trying to do, you know, because and there's one thing that I took exception to what Big says is that what you hear in my hangouts is something that you heard 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 10 years ago. People hear that you're hearing right now, the information you're hearing right now, you will not hear anyplace else.
Can I get in real quick?
Go ahead, Black Wizard.
Yeah, I think where City of Truth and Big kind of, I guess they where they're getting hung up on is the fact that I guess they're saying that, like, you know, they don't think a consciousness shift can happen over that long, that great a period of time. Like, they feel like there's this amalgamation where, like, all these things have kind of for consciousness that can't be shifted just by a mere environment change. But I think what needs to be explored, I guess, for them is the fact that if it's women or not, if the environment changes, period, then people have to adapt. Like, if these people were 200 years old and had all the ideas from 200 years ago, the environment changed. Yes, their adaptation period would be longer than somebody who was just born. But we're talking about people who, yes, ideas have been passed from generation to generation, and they share that kind of consciousness with, you know, grandparents or whatever. But their grandparents are dead. They're not their grandparents. Like, their ideas can shift just as quickly as anybody else. As long as the environment changes, they have to change with it or they'll die. That's just the way of the universe. There's no way around that.
Yeah. One good example is the iPhone, smartphone. It didn't take. How long did it take for people to adapt to the smartphone?
Not long at all.
Not long.
You can change the environment. It changed the whole culture about how you interact with people. Like, within 5 years. Doesn't take that long. Go ahead,
I'm missing this when these guys talk about this, but when you talk about females always opportunistically change for their own benefit.
Yep.
So I don't understand how they don't think they'll change. Like, you see women who treat you like shit when they say you broke and treat another guy like a quote unquote king. Yeah, they're underhanded in what they do, but you see them change immediately. That is their nature.
Well, see, you got to realize that when cats make certain statements, it lets you know that they don't really understand women. Like, the whole point of Red Pill, well, part of the point of Red Pill is coming to understand why women do what they do. And, like, there's a certain period at the beginning of that where a lot of guys go through Red Pill rage, when they get upset because they figure out that they can lie to them and female behavior. But once you start to really understand female behavior, what you'll understand is that women have not changed over the entire time they've been on the planet. They are still, like, at the core of them, they are still the same. They still have the same mindset. They still have the same instinctual needs. And what happens is they just adjust. You know, they what's the word for it? They get along to they play along to get along. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Let's turn on that music, Edward. Go ahead, Big. Respond. Big or City of Truth dropped out. Go ahead, Big. Respond.
To sit there and say that I understand, I think that's
okay. Get into your mic so we can understand you.
The premise me not knowing female nature. I fully know what female nature is, but I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the entitlement mindset, and that's the only thing I'm talking. How it's going to affect people.
If you take away the entitlement mindset will change.
So what?
I know.
I want to add.
If you take away trust me, like me and Angry Man will tell you because we done banged enough of them. Okay.
Yeah.
If you take away the entitlement mindset will change. They will get right in a hurry when there's no place else to go.
But you know what, BGS? You know what? I'll take it a step further. You could have a woman that has an entitlement mind state, that has a welfare mind state, and you could have welfare in the full swing. Let's say 95. Let's say it's 95. Welfare is in full swing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody getting all of their assistance. You could have a woman meet the right type of guy, and she will get off welfare just because he want her to. That's what cats don't realize. Like a woman's mind state, like she may have learned something in the past 30 years.
Yeah.
That is not going to circumvent thousands upon thousands of years of instinct and natural wiring.
That's true. Yeah, Big. What age range are you?
Early to mid 30s.
Early to mid 30s. Okay. So back in 1995, 1996, you were what? You were a teenager?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a young teenager, right? Okay. I was a grown ass man, okay? I was a grown ass man, all right? I know what happened when they changed welfare laws. Trust and believe, you had a whole lot of hungry chicks coming out of them projects, out of them welfare office looking for dudes.
Yeah.
Whole lot of them, okay? Because I was in my 30s, okay? Trust and believe, man, around where I worked at, there was a whole lot of welfare chicks that were getting booted off of welfare, man, looking for simps and looking for working men. Hungrily looking for working men.
That's why there was an explosion in the medical field where you had a lot of these chicks going to get their CNA license because it was one of the fastest ways. It was one of the fastest ways to get into the medical field and get a little bump above minimum wage.
That's how come they started going to school.
Yeah, it's like we're talking about these. They're women, yeah. And if we're talking about people adapting to their environment and adapting to and just being attuned with their environment, women are going to be, who you're going to look to as far as people, who are going to be the most sensitive to the environment, and they know, innately. They know innately that if the environment changes, they either have to get right with the environment or they die. Like everybody knows that, but they know that the most. So like it doesn't matter how long the whatever is going on, if the environment changes, they'll get right or they'll die. Like that's just the way the universe works.
Women are not. I know we like to think of women as retarded, but they're not retarded.
They're not retarded.
Like you're basically making it like these people don't have an IQ and can't count.
Here's the thing, and this is my question to you, because when you brought up the kids. If they cared that much about their kids, don't you think they would have been getting right for their kids by now?
I wasn't talking about in that way. I'm talking about what's going to happen afterwards. And just like what Dr. Jones said. Dr. Jones, was it? I forgot which one. We're talking about the cell. Well, not everybody is going to be back to their daddies or back to grandma. I mean, that's going to be, and if you don't know, these people are going to be around long enough to he's around 10, under 10.
Just because you don't want to do something doesn't mean that doesn't mean you don't have to do something. The only reason these people are on Section 8 in the first place is because they had kids.
Yeah.
If they can't benefit off of those kids, they're not gonna keep them.
Nope.
And
go
black
ahead,
women.
Another thing this is going to do is going to make the younger girls actually get smarter on who they procreate with, because they're not just going to be out here 16 years old just having a random kid thinking, oh, if I have a kid, welfare got me.
But
I
fam, they already.
That's why.
Angry man.
That's why I said
big angry man first, and then you.
But they're already doing that. The teen pregnancy rate is down.
It's dropped. Yeah.
They're already doing that. Those younger women have already smartened up. And you know what cats don't realize is that women always have a support system. The women that you're talking about right now that's on Section 8 and all of this, they have a support system. Who do you think watch their kids when they go to the club? Yeah. Who do you think they have a backup plan? Like, a lot of cats don't realize that these women are not stupid. They just pretend to be to get their way a lot of times. They're not dumb. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Big, do you have children?
No.
Okay, well then you don't know the game.
Hold on.
I stay clear.
You don't know the game.
I stay away.
Well, you don't know the game then.
Well, big.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. For a woman who has kids, normally her mother doesn't even like her because she's playing her. So don't be surprised when these grandparents say, I'm not gonna keep taking care of this goddamn kid.
Yep. Especially now, because these grandparents ain't like the old grandparents.
The grandparents are like 10 years younger than the mothers. Yeah, they're like grandma.
Yeah, we're the type of big mama now.
But Big Mama didn't like it either.
Did she? No, she didn't.
But these chicks are not gonna do that. These new chicks are not gonna do that because they trying to live their life now. So that kind of let them starve. But
you still got a whole lot of grandparents taking care of kids, believe it or not. Even though they don't like it, they complain about it, but they're still doing it. Go ahead, Dr. Jones. I know you want to.
I was just gonna say, and then I'm gonna jump off here. It's been an honor to conversate with you gentlemen. But I was just gonna say, you get what you pay for. The government gets what it subsidizes, and if you are financing bastard children, that's exactly what's gonna come about. So it is what it is.
Yep, and that's a whole other story. We'd have to do 8-hour hangout just on that alone.
I know it.
Let me just touch on this real quick and leave it alone and shut my mouth about this. For Big, I want you to understand, social media destroyed these women because they killed their support system by the post that they made. So when it comes to society, they screwed. You can't drop your kids off of somebody and be in Vegas pictures. You know what I'm saying? You can't do the Miami, Dubai vacation and people like, wait a minute, bitch, you just told me you was broke. And when you do that to your own parents, you screwed.
You screwed. Yep.
And a lot of times these dudes now, a lot of these thirsty dudes will be in inboxes, man. They like I said, the price of pussy is going down. And it's about to go down. And it sounds like, this is what it sounds like to me, man. And that's why I keep bringing up the fear card. The reality is a lot of the arguments that I hear from Big is like the arguments that, in my opinion, a simp would make as pretext to try to save these chicks. Like, because my thing is let them burn and let a new crop of women come up, and then we can deal with the new stuff. Because like Angry Man just said, the younger women are not as bad as like our generation. So it's kind of like swallowing a peppermint where you got to get it all the way through the system. And this idea that we owe them something, or that we need to worry about what happened, this crap ain't gonna change for black male adults one way or the other. And as far as the kids, black men will help the kids, but if black women are gonna hold their kids hostage But then some of them are just gonna have to fall through the cracks. Like BGS says all the time about letting kids starve. I'm gonna say this right now in this hangout. I will let a kid starve. You're not gonna hold your kid hostage over me, because I'm a cold dude when it comes to that.
Oh
Because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
you choosing to let that happen. You can put them up for adoption or put them through the foster care system.
Yo, this is a blessing in disguise. I've said this many times. It's going, like, a lot of cats was asking me, yo, what do you think will have to happen for these women to change? I said, yo, it's gonna have to be an act of God. It's gonna have to be something that serious and that drastic. And you know what? If they lost Section 8 and all of their little assistance, that's exactly what would be the equivalent of it, an act of God.
Yeah, they don't have to lose all of it.
Yeah,
You know,
they would have to tighten up.
And what's saying is, okay, if all it takes is for a couple of women to lose it, they don't take all of them. Yeah, they'll start getting right.
I mean, when you look at cities like Memphis,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ratchet Town.
We need Babylon. Burn it down.
Matter of fact, if you want to keep it 100,
burn it.
And Chirac.
True that, but if you want to keep it 100, when these women have kids and their kids turn 16, they start switching up, don't they?
Yep.
Yep.
So
all the girls too.
Right.
Yep.
So what do you think is gonna happen in this situation? They like, oh shit, they switch up because they run out of money.
Run out of money.
Wait, they're gonna use that birth control.
So they have their 16-year-old daughters get pregnant so they can continue it.
But you can't do that.
But that's what they do. They continue the cycle.
Okay, what he's saying is that when the money runs out, when there's no more games to play, they get right. Just like every dude. All right, Jamie, stop eating in the background and not muting your mic, man.
Yeah, just.
Oh no, I'm not eating nothing. I just had to move something off the table.
Oh, okay. In other words, any dude that's ever been through child support, and I've been through child support, you notice a change in the mother's attitude when the money runs out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I'm telling you, it's instant. Like, dudes is talking like they gotta have a philosophical debate with them. No,
no.
It's like making a right turn.
Yep.
All you gotta do is turn the faucet on. That's all.
Yep. They know the water's not running anymore.
And that's an experience that's talking, man. I know I sound SBI now, but seriously, that's inexperienced talking. And this is why, and I don't want to change the conversation, but this is kind of like what I was talking about with, I know Angry with Boyce and Yvette. My point is, certain people shouldn't be talking. Certain people should not be talking, like real talk. And I'm not talking about big, and I'm just talking about in general. Everybody does not have the right. I'm not talking about your hangout in general, BJs. I'm talking about philosophically. Certain people should not be talking. They just shouldn't. And that's the thing about social media. Social media gave people a voice that, quite frankly, don't need no one, and they do more infecting than they actually do empowering.
Yeah, because Big is lucky he's a sub. Okay. Big was because like Angry Man said, I had a stone tablet waiting for you, brother. I had a stone tablet waiting to go over your head. I said, he's a sub. He been riding with me. I'm gonna be gentle, and I was gentle because I could have gone in. I could have backed up that 18-wheeler over you.
And one of the things I was really proud of is when me, Angry Man, and a couple of his callers. And by the way, Angry Man, I do appreciate you giving me all that time. You definitely did not have to do that. But I said at the end of us going at it, like all three of us, I was like, well, there's nobody brought up degrees in this conversation. It was just off the strength of what the logic was.
Word. But yo, BGS.
Yes, sir.
You over there, man. I said BGS needs to stop hurling them damn tablets. Like, Moses only had 2 of them, far as I knew.
Hey, niggas is hard head, man. I gotta go back for more.
BGS be dusting them off, like pulling them off his library or something.
Well, I'm saying, I could have again geopolitical in the whole 9 yards, man. But if I had done that, Big's not ready for that. It has gone way, way over his head.
Could have went Nino in New Jack City.
Yeah, pull out another Daughters of the Trade video. That got a whole lot of women shook, man. You should have saved that for Christy. That should have been your finishing move. If Chrissy ever got out of
Actually, it was more for people like Brooklyn Blue or whatever she calls herself, because she be putting up all that bullshit of their swirlers. And I had a white woman who has a degree, whose field of expertise is talking about it for an hour and a half, and has a book. And
okay, so she was a white woman. Okay.
No,
I thought no. You did put that up. You did put that up at one point, and I was looking for that book because I was like, I was going through your videos trying to find out who that was, because it was like she like slave masters taking the black women to like cabins and stuff, and some kind of resort, and like having affairs with them and that kind of stuff.
That was a fiction book, and it was a black woman that wrote that one, and that was very true.
We need to spam Tariq Nasheed's Twitter to get him to talk about that daughter trade. Because you know the way Tariq needs. Look, Hidden Colors 5, the history of bedwitching.
What I'm saying is that, okay, it's not to put black women down. It's not to put anybody down. The history of what she was trying to say in her book, and even in that video, is that the institution of American slavery, Atlantic slavery, is very, very complex. It's not simple. And when they said, well, you mean black people sold their own people out? And she said, no, they weren't selling their own people out. Africans on the continent don't see every other black person as their people. They do
tribes.
Tribes and people.
Go by tribe.
The way I read that was the origin of colorism comes from black female fuckery. Now I understand what you're saying too, but origin, like they may have been raping them in the United States, but they weren't raping them necessarily up in Africa like that. It was a lot more quid pro quo. And so when Chrissy and all of them are making this argument that we swirl because of what black men did,
well, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
It's bullshit because there wasn't no white women around for them to swirl with it.
Yep.
Yeah, like, well, when I say black people, black men, I'm talking about the fact that we didn't protect them and all of that. Like, because even Tariq Nasheed says that. He says that bedwitching is because black women don't respect, black men because of the not protecting. And that's one of the few things I vehemently disagree with him on. And you basically provide me, like, the evidence.
Yeah. They protected their women. And that's how come I doubled it up with Claude Anderson. Claude Anderson said they didn't even bring black women or African women to the continent or to the United States until the trade was banned in was 1809.
Yeah, and that's when the sex farms and stuff took off, like in Baltimore and other areas like that. Right. And that's where origin of a lot of black incest comes from.
Yeah.
But how you gonna have black men? How would black men protect black women in slavery from getting raped when there was black men that was getting raped?
Well, I'm saying that there weren't enough black women to protect in slavery back then. That happened very, very late. And by that, slavery was almost, because if you take from 1809 basically to 1865, that's only 60 years.
You can even see that in the Nat Turner movie, The Birth of a Nation, because when they got brought over here, they were like two generations. And then when he died, that little kid ended up growing up to be an older man. And then they showed the end of the scene where he fought in the Civil War. So that was like at the tail end of it. But see,
the thing about
go ahead, LAR.
The thing about the protection nonsense is they always want to leave out this simple truth. I can't protect anybody from themselves, and you also can't protect the person who is in bed with their oppressor when it's convenient.
Facts.
You can't protect who you can't lead.
No, it's not just about, like, if you ever had been in any kind of team scenario,
right?
And say, and your teammates
is giving the other team the plays.
Right. When you keep jumping ship, the first quarter you with me, the second quarter you with them, at halftime you at the concession, and the third quarter you ain't no protection because you playing for yourself. You're not playing for the team.
Yeah. Mercenary status.
Yeah, and they would, and basically the feminists would tell you is that the white female plantation owner didn't like that shit either. So they weren't in the quarters raping slaves like that because the white females wasn't having it. So so a lot of that stuff is just them running off at the mouth.
Well, the thing is that I always say is black women are black. Look, when I say black women, I'm talking about black women like this. I'm not saying every single black woman, but this idea that black women are not as colorist. First of all, black women are way more colorist than black men. Black men, I keep saying this, black men do not get with non-black women because of color. They get with non-black women because black men are starved of femininity, and we are susceptible to the femininity of other white chicks. This is why I like what LeVar did to that white bitch, because that's a perfect example of a white chick can go left and pull that privilege card at any moment. So stop saying that these white chicks are like better, but black men are talking about the femininity, even the pretend femininity that they get from these non-black women that we do not get from our women, and that's why our women lose. It's not the color. They just
what's the first thing these women say? They be like, "Oh, you only getting with that woman because they're weak. You can do whatever you want and control them. You can't handle with strong black women."
Translation is femininity.
Pretty much.
It's called cooperation. It's called cooperation. Straight up cooperation.
Yep.
Go ahead, Big.
Okay. Allow me to talk about that lame excuse from women about and for fighting. What they're really talking about? What you dead? They want you to sacrifice themselves. So like you will get killed off. That's the way I see it, and I'm sticking to it.
That's true.
With me and Angry, that's one thing me and Angry Man agree with us about this bullshit. They just using that up as a deflector shield, so they don't want to have to change their bullshit that they do. They don't really care.
And
they want things to remain as it is. That's just bullshit. That's bullshit.
Because other races of women don't throw their men down. If they want to fuck black dick, they just say, "I want to fuck black." I want to fuck black dick because I can't stand white men. Only black women do that.
I don't. Okay.
No, I'm sorry, Edward. No, Edward. See. Like here's the thing, Edward. You only concentrate on black women. Asian women doing playing.
We're talking about black women. We're not talking about Asian women.
All women would do some shit like that.
I know, but we're talking about our women. We're not talking about everybody else.
And number two, non-black women. I want to respond to what he said, because there are certain things that black women, and when I say black women, I'm talking particularly about African American women. There are certain things that African American women will do. They will fuck themselves up against their own best interests. Other races of women understand that their own level that they're at is predicated as a group on their men.
Okay, big, and then
hold on. Who is next?
You.
Okay, but Edward, you are still messing up on yourself. If you actually watch what Asian women are doing to get the white men, they're actually stabbing Asian men in the back to get a piece of white peach.
Okay, first of all,
there's videos on there.
Can I address that?
Go ahead.
Please, Chucky.
Big J.
Yeah.
Now I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again, man. You kind of showing yourself. You kind of revealing yourself, man. Like you're acting like you got your MRA starter kit over there. Like we not talking about Asian women. We're talking about black women. Black people in this country. Black people in this country.
Let him finish. Big. Let him finish, and then you can respond.
Black people in this country have a unique situation. A unique situation because, truth be told, the majority of us, we don't have thousands of years of culture that's going to dictate our behavior. Now, you may have Asian women trying to get with white men, but those are exceptions to the damn rule. That's not you don't have a whole culture. You don't have a whole massive group of Asian women trying to get with white men. They don't have a whole movement for that. We have a whole movement. There's a whole movement called swirlers.
Yeah.
That's different.
And okay, if Big would actually, that's why I said black men don't read. Okay,
That's a white supremacist talking point, BGS.
That's true, but it's true.
Amen.
Black men don't read enough. Okay, because if Big actually did the statistics, where do most of the Asian women that white men are marrying come from?
The West Coast and
Nope.
also in China.
Overseas, Philippines, Thailand. Very few of them come from China. Japan, Cambodia. In other words, the majority of them come from the Philippines.
I think.
Yeah, but according to what I read, now I don't like how the fact though, man, come to me telling me I don't read this shit, but the premise of the reason why I brought other races was because Edward did it, and I was trying to tell him that's not exactly.
I know, but you're
it is the case.
But the thing is, you don't go into why things happen. There are more Asian women in the United States than there are Asian men. There's a reason for that. It's because the majority of Asian brides that are marrying white men come from out of the country.
And can I say something else? There's another.
Don't sit there trying to mix in with Asian women and with black women. But I was only responding to what Edward was saying.
Okay, so let me clarify what I'm saying. They're even with the Asian women that marry a white man. There are certain things that a white man can do with a black woman that a white man cannot get away with an Asian woman necessarily because of the strength of their family background and community. And I've seen white boys say this. Like, white boys will tell you when they want like a good looking Indian woman or something like that, I'll say it this way. A black woman will deal with an average Joe, nothing ass white dude. They may have an average job and then think she's doing something special because he's white. An Indian woman is going to look at that white man and compare him to men in his group. And if that man ain't making money, they're looking at them for a more economic benefit. Not necessarily, they don't white people don't get the colorism bump with a lot of these non-black women that they get with black women. And they feel that when they deal with these women. And they said it.
Then why bring women in?
Like MGTOW only talks about black women when it comes to how they can get over, like the Veganator and stuff like that. MGTOW don't talk about other races, even Hispanic women a little bit, but it don't even like that. It's only black women that they talk about. Wow, man, this black man, ghetto gaggers. You don't see no black. That's a black woman thing.
As a black male, if you want to talk about interracial dating, it's very simple. If you see a white guy dating anybody, they'll be all in their damn families. You ain't gonna see too many white guys go around a black family. You'll see a black dude with no fear around anybody else's family, but you don't see that from other people.
Exactly. Because the perception is they're being saved. The perception is that I'm taking you as a black woman out of the nigger situation. And that's why you see black women always like to talk about
Hold up. Edward, I don't mean it in that way though, bro. But I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is because he's in Texas, and I see this a lot in Texas. You have white guys around Asian families, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Texas got the big bed winches too, by the way.
Right. They so comfortable because they have this praising of whiteness. They comfortable with it. But see, you won't see that when you reverse it. Because there's this fear element. White dudes can't handle the pressure of being around black men. They can date black women, but they're not gonna come home for the weekend get together because they're shit they pants.
They're passive aggressive about it at best.
Right.
And they avoid the hood. They're not gonna go.
It ain't even about the hood. It could be the suburbs. They are not comfortable. They are so fearful. That's their culture.
Yeah.
They feel like men around other people's culture.
Yeah, so when they do get black women, this is why I keep saying this. I've said this over and over again. You show me anything in the news, any clip that shows a non-white woman, like you got a cop that kills a black man and then it happens that this dude dates black women, or the Aaron Hernandez situation. You don't see that amongst black men when they date out, and you don't see other women that will co-sign killing of your own people. You don't see that so big when you're trying, again, see, this is what I'm talking about that tape stuff. You have this like knee-jerk reaction, kind of like Boyce Watkins does, by the way, and I'll admit that, the way you want to tape. And you're not seeing the nuance in what I'm saying. You're just seeing this as like an attack, and that you got to throw a response out there just for shits and giggles, and then it comes out like some kind of Play-Doh of I don't know what it is.
Maybe y'all should box. Maybe y'all should box.
No, let him respond. Well, that's it. This is Edward. Okay, Edward does it to everybody, so he's no respecter of persons. Angry Man can tell you that. Go ahead, Big, respond.
Okay, but Edward, son, yeah, I'm calling you son right now.
No, hey.
Okay. Oh, I can't. Oh, too bad. Well, I'll tell you what, Edward. You said a moment ago that there is no such thing as certain wells. Like, if you're going to talk to me, you got to bring with facts. No such thing as Latino women being gagged. You know, y'all these websites saying that. So don't come at me.
Okay, if you're gonna bring facts, bring facts.
Give me a site.
Okay, now.
Ghetto Gaggers is a black site.
What you gonna do?
You say bring facts, but you ain't got no change in the wallet.
I'll put it on Hangouts. I'll put it on Hangouts for you.
Edward. Huh? Excuse me?
I'll put it out on Hangouts for you, Edward.
Well, why don't you put it in the comments section?
You can do it right. You can do it right now. Say what you have to say.
Now I'm gonna move on to another thing.
Yeah, accept that defeat.
Hold on, y'all failed to put down the sisterhood. Y'all just go back and forth with them. And instead of y'all worrying about swirling, y'all should be talking about why the girl who swirls is promoting a book by calling Clarity called White Girl Bleeds a Lot.
Okay, explain that again.
Y'all, I'm talking especially to Edward. I don't see you talking about that. The only thing coming out of your mouth is about swirling.
Okay,
I don't care what Harrison does.
No.
So hold on.
If you are promoting a book that says black people are this, that, and the third, then why ain't you calling that out, Edward?
Well,
because what out?
Because that's what she does. We're not surprised that she does because she's married to a white man. That's what she does.
But it seemed to me though, BGS, that black men are primary. It seemed like we or some of us on here are primarily mad at her over swirling or mad at them over.
No, that's not what we're mad at her.
Whoa.
He called me out. He called me out. Hold on. No. You called me out. You mentioned my name.
I just got
okay. That's not why we're mad at her. Okay, we could give a goddamn about her swirling or her white husband and her white children or encouraging other black women to swirl. Stop using us as stepping stones to get black women to cross over. If you're on that side, you think that's the best side to be, encourage and uplift white men in their eyes. Stop saying that you need to swirl or go with white men because black men ain't shit.
Yeah, as a moral justification.
That's not as just moral justification. That's the reason we're mad at her. Her talking about white men, we could give a goddamn about that. If you want to be on that side, be on that side. Plenty of women do.
Can I address?
Go ahead, Angry Man. Go ahead.
Because I've talked a lot of shit about her, and I haven't mentioned nothing about Colin Flaherty. And I've had a bunch of people say, "Yo, why do you don't say something about Colin Flaherty?" Okay, let me break this down. And as far as somebody saying that you don't read, this is what a lot of cats don't realize. If you come onto a forum and start talking, the moment that you start talking, any well-read person will know if you're well-read or not. That's going to be evident. That's pure logic. It's mathematics. There's no getting around it. You can't fake the funk. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is this: the reason why I talk about her in reference to swirling, I've already said I don't have a problem with interracial dating, but swirling is not the same as interracial dating. Swirling is when, just like BGS got through saying, it's using black men as the stepping stone. It's saying that the only way a black woman is going to get a better relationship is to stop messing with the raggedy black man and get his better, which is his counterpart, which is supposed to be the white man. That's the whole premise behind swirling. The whole premise behind swirling is disparaging all black men and perpetuating the myth of white supremacy that white men are better than black men. Now, as far as Colin Farrell, I'm not going to speak on him the same way I'm not going to speak on the KKK, the same way I'm not going to speak on the Aryan Nation, because I would be wasting my time. That's like trying to stop a dog from fucking barking. He's going to continue to do that.
And another thing with swirling too that I just wanted to add on to is the difference between when black men interracially date and black women so-called swirl is black men don't change who they are when they date non-black women. Black women have to. So what that does is that proves that the real problem is not so much in black men as a whole. It is A, the black men that black women choose, and B, because the type of white boys they choose is not reflective of the type of black men they choose, by the way. That's even true to a certain extent with Kerosene. But this Valley Girl, because swirling is associated with that Valley Girl sounding voice, like Christy has it, and even though she doesn't swirl and blah, 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 they are literally fundamentally changing who they are in order to appeal to another man. And if you have to change who you are to appeal with another man or non-black men, then obviously that should say something or clue you into the fact that you have man problems, because it's the way you are in general. Because if it wasn't true, you wouldn't have to change it up. That's really where swirling comes from. So it's not about being mad, because black men don't care about black women swirling. We care about our name in your mouth. Black men support a lot of black women that date white men.
No.
It's just when they put our name in their mouth that we have a problem. Cough Serena Williams. Cough Alfre Woodard. I can go through a list of black women that you wouldn't even know date white men or have been with them for years, because black men do not harp about it like that. We just don't. And actually, I will say this last thing. White men are actually very puzzled, because if you talk to a lot of right racist trolls, they will say your women love us and your women worship us. Well, what they forget to understand is black men just care about, well, I'm going to say we just care about fucking. But if we're fucking from an ego standpoint, we don't care. So it's like, we fuck your woman and she's married to you. You can't stop that. And they get upset and stop talking because they don't get as out of pocket about, we don't get as out of pocket about it as white men do. And that's why I say black women and white men have the same kind of mentality. And the videos BTS has showcased that.
Well,
with the chalice and stuff.
You go ahead, Angry Man. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, you got it. You got it.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say is this: like, the problem with you know, a lot of us is we don't really think analytically. We don't really we don't break everything down to its bare minimum or to its most common denominator. And you know, anybody should understand why black women have this sort of affinity for white men. It's power. It's power. It's the fact that we live in a culture where they have propped themselves up as to be the most powerful men. Women are always going to gravitate to that. They're always going to gravitate to that in some way, shape, or form. And a lot of times these arguments, I noticed these arguments will be over the surface stuff, you know. Sure. And that's why I got so much respect for BGS, because BGS, he'll take it from, you know, people will be talking about the surface shit, and BGS will say, well, no, this is the root of that. And he goes down, you know, deeper into the core, you know what I'm saying? And goes a few layers and say, okay, well, this is the source of that. Because guess what? If you figure out the source of it, then you can come up with a real solution to the fucking problem.
I got one issue with swirling, one major issue. That's pretty much it. If you gonna hold yourself out, don't hold yourself out for a discount. And that's what a lot of the swirling culture basically is.
Word.
because what they say is black men don't have power and black men don't have media and all that other stuff. And I respond to that by saying you do realize you're talking about a group of men that are at least 17 to 20 trillion dollars in debt. So you holding yourself out in debt, and you holding yourself out on a discount.
Well, see, LAR, it's because they're looking at the surface. They're looking at the image of it. You understand? They go and get these discounted men. For one thing, you're talking about a woman. You're talking about a black woman that is failing in relationships with black men. So they're a discount themselves. That's the thing about it. They're a discount themselves, and they are not going to cross the fence and go over into the white world and get a top-notch white man, because the top-notch white man, is going to get a top-notch white woman. Yeah, there may be one or two, there may be a couple of exceptions, you know what I'm saying, to that rule. But a top-notch white man that has his pick of the litter, he's gonna pick a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Part of the reason is because of the image, because of social norms and all of those different things. But these women who jump the fence like CK, you know what I'm saying? She's gonna pick whatever she can get, and that's exactly what she got, because compared to old boy's family members, he's the black sheep of the family. Yeah. He's the idiot of the family. You understand what I'm saying? So
the best they're gonna get is that Olivia Pope situation, like with Omarosa, basically that Olivia Pope situation, that side chick situation.
Yeah, but and you know what? That's funny too, because
that's best case.
Yeah, that's the bullshit that they watch, and they think they're gonna be able to like emulate. Oh, she's messing with the president. I'm just sitting there like, come on.
Oh, but they're canceling that shit. I love it. They are canceling that show. Yes, I'm gonna hold a party.
They ran out of plot lines. But the thing is that what black women don't realize is you do not exist on that class level. When you get up to that level, color is almost irrelevant. Okay. It's a whole nother class of people.
And they don't have the tools. They don't have the tools to navigate that level. They just don't, for the most part. I mean, you got some women that can, but as a group, black women don't.
Somebody got that.
And I'm talking about black women as a group. What's going on?
Somebody came in and they echoing.
Who got their speaker on?
I think they muted it.
Okay.
But that's why, I love black. I'm actually one of the few people. I'm ironically enough, because I know a lot of people when I was on your show, Angry Man, thought I was just hammering sisters, but I'm just talking about, I'm one of the few that will back up black women. I believe certain black women can be salvaged. I'm not on this, the ones that need to be burnt, but I'm about trying to fix the situation. I'm as Obsidian would call a hopeless romantic, outdated. I'm one of them.
You're one of those.
But I'm gonna tell it like it is, because it's that real.
Come on, Edward. Come on, Edward.
He is.
Here's the thing. This is why I will constantly have the discussions that I have. Like, I tell cats real talk. Like, I'm in a relationship with a black woman, and I've been drugged through the child support system. My ex be on some welfare shit, so I don't be talking about shit like I'm like an old soldier. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you shit that I done been through, in the war. I've
been through 3 tours.
Yeah, I done did a few tours. I've seen combat. So, you know what I'm saying? So when cats is talking about particular topics, I'm not just speaking from the side of the information or the empirical evidence. I'm speaking from experience too.
And to go back to just that other stuff about child support and welfare and all that stuff, is that the government needs a certain amount of babies, and somebody has to fund the amount of babies. Okay. Because they need to, one, support the economy by having citizens, and 2, they have to have a certain amount of citizens to hold up the structure of the society. And somebody has to fund it. It either has to be the society of the government, which is part of society, or individuals that support it. You have to have fathers, or you have to have society institutions to do it. But when you no longer need them, and that's why I'm saying when you graduate from kindergarten, you know that the fourth industrial revolution is coming, universal basic income is coming. You know that they're going to have to reduce the population, so they will be no longer willing to do what? Fund babies.
You got that. You got homosexuality is going to blow up because they trying to, convince people to not, appropriate. I mean, you're going to see all that coming. And a lot of folks.
Male birth control, all that stuff is coming.
Yeah, it's going to come. And women, it's going to suck for women because when environments get more chaotic, women favor, women to a certain extent favor chaos, but when it comes, they like control chaos, and that's what we have in the United States. With everything is so tilted to women, and when I say tilted to women, I'm talking about women are absolutely divorced from the consequences of their action.
White and black.
And that's true. Yeah, so I know Big didn't believe me when I said that I'm for women. I mean, clearly that tells me right there that you ain't really heard me on a lot of hangouts or arguments with patriarch and stuff like that. Because I am for black men marrying black women. I just say they need to do it outside the United States. But Nibby Speaks, if y'all shout out to that interview that O'Shea did with Nibby Speaks, that's the type of sister we need to be dealing with. And what she do? She got her ass out of the United States. So I mean,
what's her name?
I think
Nibby Speaks. Go to O'Shea's channel. It's up there.
I think the craziest part about all this gender shit is black women are playing stupid because honestly, black men we say the shit we say to them out of love, but since they want to play hard, they don't want to admit that they don't want to follow our lead, but they listen to our advice, they fight it, then they live with the consequences, then they follow our advice and then act like we never told them shit.
Or think we supposed to clean it up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Anybody that's been through a bunch of women, and Valdez and me probably are the two people that can speak on it, and probably hostile adept. Anytime you tell a chick something, especially a black woman, they're so freaking hard-headed, it takes it 2 years for it to sink it in.
Exactly.
2 years later, they'll come back to you and say, baby, remember when you said, okay.
If they do that.
No, they do it all the time. They come back to you 3 years later and say, can we still do that?
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell you how many I told you so's I got in the bank.
When we talk about when brothers be talking about when older guys talk, they talking from the experience that they've had those exes call them 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 years later. We're trying to rekindle the flame because they just caught on.
Yeah.
Without understanding that if you 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years late, the dude's looking at you now saying, well, shit, if you just caught on now, do you know how far ahead of you I am now? I'm not starting over with your ass.
Oh, we got to renegotiate. And see, a lot of women don't understand. A lot of women don't understand the concept of renegotiating the contract. They think they can come at you 10 years after high school with that, hey, big head Facebook messenger. And I'm like, take a look at a picture. I'm like, man, you'd have had a kid, please. Your price has gone down 50%. And then when you approach them that way, they get mad at you because they think you the same dude. I'm like,
Go there, man.
This is what I get. This is what happens with me, right?
Okay.
So when I was with my ex, at the time we actually was in the nation, and we kept having these arguments or whatever, right? So we went to, one of the elder brothers and one of the elder sisters that for mediation, right?
Okay.
And so I'm sitting there talking about the situation where I was right or whatever, and we finally got to the bottom of it because she was like, the sister was like, well, what's the problem? Why are you so upset if you know that you were right? And then the brother said, oh, I know what it is, brother. You want her to bear witness.
Yep.
And I said, yeah. And that I figured something out that day. I think I was about 22 at the time. I figured something out that day. When you in a debate, and I'm pretty sure you witnessed this plenty of times, a woman could know you're right. She can know you're right 100%, but she is not going to bear witness to it right there in front of you at that moment that you're right. Now, what she will do, what I found out later in life, what she will do is if she knows you're right and she knows what you're saying is the best thing to do, if you walk off and just say, you know what, I said what I said. That's all it is to it. And then you walk away. 9 times out of 10, if she's a smart woman, she'll bear witness and she'll just go ahead and do what it is that you said do. You feel what I'm saying? But she's not gonna want to admit to you.
What are the 3 things that are wrong with black women?
They want to be right.
Was it shame, guilt, and the need to be right?
Yeah.
But they'll do that with non-black men though, and that's the thing. That's what that brings it back. Not trying to bring it back to the swirling thing, but see, black women don't do this. They pretend more with non-black men, and that is one thing. See, if it wasn't in them, then I could accept that a lot more. But when you see how fast they switch up, see, this is how we know when dudes talking about, oh well, if you change welfare, black women won't change. Swirling is a perfect example. Black women change all the time when depending on what they want to do. It's like different gears in a car, and it's like going from 4-wheel drive to 2-wheel drive. Like they do it that fast. So we know that what you all are saying is not true when you all are theorizing that women won't change, because we see it all the time in real time.
Yeah. They respond to it. Yeah.
Hold on, Edward. Where did Big J go? See, it's some simping.
I think he dropped out the thing.
Yeah, he's gone.
Simping going on. I gotta call it out. So woman of the past said, so what's the solution? Big J said, hit me in the PM and I'll tell you. Why can't you tell us, Big J?
He just trying to bag it. He's trying to get the number.
He's simping. We know solution too.
Can I say something? Because I don't ever look at the comment sections when people.
Oh, all right, boy, you should.
No,
in the chat.
Yeah, I never do. The one thing I crack up when sisters ask about what's the solution, the truth be told is y'all already know the solution. Y'all just don't want to do it. I tell them
the solution is for them to shut the fuck up, but
but real talk, like if you keep kicking this can and keep passing this buck, you gonna force yourself into the solution, which is wind up being what Angry Man just talked about. They gonna have to, in mass number, bear witness.
I call it them logically accepting what I say, but not emotionally buying into it. That's what I call it. But
go ahead. My bad.
No, that's all I was gonna say. It's different things, but
anytime a chick say that shit to me, what's the solution?
Oh yeah.
I say one statement: bow down. That's the solution.
He said, bow down to the wall.
You're gonna start there.
It's simple. Know your place. That's all it is to it. Like, and this is what, whenever you say that, this is the counter for that. Well, if I bow down, I gotta bow down to somebody that's worthy of it. Like,
yeah. Well, I was about to say that's what they always say, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's what your brain say, but that vagina don't say that. Because my thing is now I want a Carfax report, because what I've been seeing is your owners. How many owners have you had? 'Cause I've seen a whole bunch of. You know how when you get a good car and you get a dude that don't know how to treat a good car, like they spend all their money, they last dime to get like a 2003 Jaguar, and you can tell. Because it's got fucked up rims on it. It's got cuts in the seat. That's how women in their vagina history is with black women. And I'm like,
I do agree.
So Edward, so you're saying that sisters is out here presenting themselves as 2017 Mercedes Benzes, and they saying that you got to have immaculate credit to get them.
And they really like 1986 Volvos.
Oh, you go.
Because you know why I say Volvos, right? Because a Volvo can take a lot of damage. So when you look at the high body,